mata, sinusuyo kita. Di mo man marinig, di mo man madama. O kay tagal kita mamahalin, o kay tagal kita mamahalin, o mamahalin, o mamahalin, Dear Kuya, kamusta ka na dyan? Anong balita? Malamig ba dyan? Dito mainit. Ngunit kung bumagyo, para bang lahat ng tubig sa mundo ay nandito. Matagal na rin mula nang ika'y magpasyang subukan ng swerte at abutin ang iyong mga pangarap sa ibang bansa kung saan ikaw ay laging mag-isa. Kami tuloy dito nag-aalala. Nasaan ka man ngayon? Ano mang oras na ika'y may kailangan, tawag ka lang sa amin. At parang dito ka na rin, parang dito ka na rin. Oo nga pala, kung nasa'yo pa ang checkered na polo ko, sa'yo na yan. Hanap ka na rin ng maraming mapapanglibangan, dahil balita ko, mahal daw ang sine dyan. Ang buhala raw, mga pinapakain dyan, tataba ka malamang. Gusto mo bang magtagalog, kuya, pag may kumausap sa'yo? Galingan mong mag-Ingles, galingan mo, kuya. Nasaan ka man ngayon? Ano mang oras na ika'y may kailangan, tawag ka lang sa amin. At parang dito ka na rin. Nasaan ka man ngayon? Ano mang oras na ika'y may kailangan, tawag ka lang sa amin. At parang dito ka na rin, parang dito ka na rin. Dear Kuya, hinahanap ka ni Mama at Daddy, sulat ka palagi, miss ka namin. Pati nga kapitbahay nagtatanong, san ka raw nagpunta? San ka raw nagpunta? Nasaan ka na, kuya? Nasaan ka man ngayon? Ano mang oras na ika'y may kailangan, tawag ka lang sa amin. At parang dito ka na rin. Nasaan ka man ngayon? Ano mang oras na ika'y may
Pangakong di pababayaan. Ako'y nandyan lamang nababalot. Di kita iiwanan. Pangakong di pababayaan. Ako'y nandyan lamang nababalot. Di kita iiwanan. Pangakong di pababayaan. Ako'y nandyan lamang na mabalot.
Alright, once again, happy Saturday Philippine Physical Education Community. And again, ito na naman, Sabado na naman, and we are very happy because the support of the physical education and health community here in our country and even sa ibang bansa ay tuloy-tuloy. Kamusta naman yung mga kasama natin ngayon dyan na live na naka-tune in via YouTube Live? They are around 60. And dito rin sa ating Zoom, meron tayong mga kasama na nandito sa atin with our Zoom meeting conference na portal. And again, good afternoon. Kasama natin ngayon, hapon na to, si Coach Joshua Villarreal and Coach John Saladas. Magandang hapon, coaches.
Good afternoon, Coach JR.
Wow, kamusta naman ang nagdaang linggo, mga kapwa ko guro, mga kapwa PE teachers? Sir John, kamusta naman?
Ito medyo nakapahinga ng konti lang kasi term break namin. Pero on Monday, balik na naman. Panibagong term na naman.
Yun na naman no? The teaching saga, hindi talaga
Back to the
natatapos.
normal na naman tayo.
Yan. How about you, Coach Joshua? Kamusta naman ang isang linggo?
Well, very challenging. Pero of course, meron tayong stress reliever, kung baga, itong ating One Piece Ed na webinar. So,
Yes.
looking forward for this. So, yan.
Yan. Well, ako
How about you, Coach JR? Ikaw,
Well,
kamusta?
Well, syempre alam naman natin na ang ating journey bilang isang PE teacher ay hindi natatapos ng Monday to Friday. Pero katulad nga ng sinabi mo, Coach Joshua, the very reason why I am always motivated to continue the journey, sabi ko nga sa YouTube live kanina, is because merong mga PE teachers talaga that is keep on supporting, no? Laging nakatune in sa atin, and they are the ones sa mga evaluation na binibigay nila na they really need this kind of training na kung saan nakakasama nila yung mga physical education teachers dito sa iba't ibang bahagi ng ating bansa. And meron din tayong mga participants, o shout out kay Sir Ray Del Prado from Indonesia, no? Isa sa mga naging speaker natin. Lagi siyang nakatune in sa YouTube live. And nakakatuwa, no? Kasi when we started this, Coach Josh, Sir John, usually dito lang sa NCR, but if we're gonna check the chat box, no, makikita natin we have from ito, isa sa mga avid supporter natin, si Abraham Duran Sapo, shout out sa kanya, no, from Polangi Community College. Lagi kong nakikita to na nag-active dito sa mga trainings natin. Kaya ako, I'm very happy and tuloy-tuloy talaga with the help of you guys, no. Tuloy-tuloy talaga tong journey na ginagawa natin kasi we truly believe simpleng action lang to pero malaki nagagawa na tulong nito sa ating mga kapwa guro. How about kayo? Ano bang feeling nyo? Where are we gonna go this onefised.ph? Ano bang mga reflection nyo over the past actually magwo 1 year na tayo, no, sa July. No? Kamusta? Ano bang mga na-realize nyo, mga kapwa ko, mga admin ng onefised.ph?
Yeah, Sir John, go ahead.
Ayan, so magwo 1 year na pala tayo, no? So magwo 1 year na rin since I joined yung group, di ba? So thankful ako at nakasama ko kayo at naging part na itong One Piece natin, which is very naging helpful talaga. So, especially sa mga students natin, lalo na itong mga sports webinar series natin. So maganda, malaki talaga yun ay tutulong niya, lalo na sa ating mga physical education saka sports community.
Yeah, tsaka marami tayong tayo
marami
din
nakikilala, nami-meet, di ba? At the same time, lagi tayo every week may new inputs, new learning.
Yes. I agree with you with that. Si Coach Joshua actually
sa akin
laging
naman,
nasa likod pero ngayon nasa harap na ng nandito na kasama na natin.
wala akong
Coach
background
Josh?
hindi ako ready Hindi ako ready. Pero mag-go 1 year na nga yung One Piece, no? And the bottom line of this initiative naman talaga is to develop the confidence of our PE teachers to deal or to teach physical physical education in school, and of course to raise the standard of physical education in the country. So yun naman talaga ang ating layunin na to, no? So hangga't tayo nakakatulong, hangga't tayo'y nakakapagbigay ng kaalaman sa ating mga nanonood. Well, actually tayo din, tama si Sir John, no? Tayo din, tututo tayo. Meron tayong mga aha moments na parang meron pala. No? So it's a win-win, no? It's a win-win for us at sa ibang mga PE teachers at I think malayo-layo ang mararating ng One Piece Ed. So sa mga nanonood, keep supporting One Piece Ed, and we will do our best to help and make the physical education community and PE teachers to raise the standards of PE teachers in the country. So yun lang naman. So yan.
Tsaka
they are.
Yeah, tsaka Coach Josh and Sir John, no, kitang-kita natin, nakakatuwa nga kasi ang dami nating mga fino-formulate na plans, and itong mga plan na to is talagang we're into full execution by the end of the academic year or by the summer break or let's say yung school break, no. We're looking forward, no, as early as now, would like to announce to everyone that onefised.ph will soon have its own website. We're just finalizing the details because we want that website will be interactive para kayo mismo. Lahat ng mga episodes natin dati na na-feature natin dito, you can just click it there and you can have it asynchronously na-i-watch siya, then it will generate also certificate kung sakaling hindi kayo nakaabot. Kasi I think, katulad ng sinabi ni Coach Joshua, naniniwala ko, if no one will do this, of course, hindi talaga magi-improve yung ating profession. That's why we are really trying our best, no? Even we are also busy like you teachers, no, sa mga ginagawa to help everyone, kasi naniniwala kami na if we are united and if we are together to improve this kind of profession, malayo yung mararating natin. And above all, there's something different that we can bring to the life of the students that we are handling. All right, so announcement alert. Ito po, importante. First and foremost, bago ko ibigay ang announcement, of course, sa ating mga naka-YouTube live, there are around almost 100, no? Ang bilis ng pag-akyat, no? Please, kindly share now the link of this episode. Marami kayong mga co-teacher, marami kayong mga estudyante, mga kapamilya, baka pwede silang manood ng ating episode para may makuha silang something na makakatulong sa kanila for this afternoon. So kindly share our link sa inyong mga social media accounts para meron pa tayong mga ma-invite na mga ibang individuals. Announcement for this week, no, very busy sa physical education community ang week na to dahil there are two big conference, international conference ongoing. The first one is of course yung SWEEP, no? Yung Sports for Women's Employment program that will be happening this coming March 23 to March 26, no? Pwede po tayong pumunta sa Sports Management Council of the Philippines Facebook page. Sports Management Council of the Philippines Facebook page, at kindly check po yung mga detalye on how can you register for the SWEEP International Conference. This will talk about, of course, siyempre alam naman natin, Happy Women's Month po pala sa lahat. Alam naman po natin na Women's Month, so this conference will bring some of the highlights of the things na ginagawa ng ating mga kababaihan in the field of sports, wellness, and physical education. Another, isa po, syempre, sino po ba ang hindi makakakilala, no? Ang Connected PE. Connected PE will be having their international conference starting on Monday. Sa Monday na po. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-register, this is a free international conference. Kindly, of course, check po onefised.ph Facebook page dahil nandyan po ang detalye ng conference. Ito po, marami po tayo mga international speakers na nandito, and we're so blessed because ang inyong lingkod po will be one of the speaker. I'll be talking there this coming March 26 to talk about our experience as a team, how we collaborate in LaSalle Sobel to make this what we call virtual intramurals. So nagkaroon ng intrams, paano ba siya gagawin? I think interesado ang karamihan dito. So ayun yung ating mga announcements. Siyempre meron tayong main topic, no, Coach John tsaka Sir Joshua for this afternoon. Hindi ko na patatagalin ang ating i-discover for this afternoon. I would like now to introduce the sharer, our speaker for this afternoon. Okay, he is the former national team head coach and currently the head coach of the University of Asia and the Pacific men's futsal team. He is a certified strength and conditioning specialist as well as a functional movement specialist level 2. Hindi ko na po papatagalin. Let's all welcome, marami pong nakakakilala sa inyo. That's why umabot ng almost 1,000 ang pre-registration natin. Let's give a virtual round of applause, no other than Coach Christian Dominguez. Apology, Coach Christian. Yan. Coach Christian, ayoko kasi magkamali eh. Alright, Coach Christian Dominguez. Let's give him a round of applause. Magandang hapon, Coach Christian.
Coach, nakamute tayo.
Yan, nakamute si... Yan.
Ayan.
Okay,
Again,
there you go.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Unang-una sa mga organizers at sa mga nakikinig. Nasaan man kayong dako ng Pilipinas or ng Metro Manila.
All right. Coach Christian, I'll be giving the floor now to you to share, okay, your the presentation, or let's say a talk about the topic that you want to share for the community.
Okay, I will just share the screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, Coach.
Yes, Coach.
Okay, so, all right. So a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. I will start my giving my talk this afternoon. No? So our main topic today is practices in handling futsal program in this new normal. No? And for some of the PE teachers, maybe you're not familiar with the sport. I'll be introducing you to futsal, okay, to the sport of futsal. Now, first, again, I would like to give my gratitude to One Piece Ed people. No, for without them, we don't have this webinar. They take time really to sacrifice and in order for a platform like this to happen. No, and of course to every one of you listening, that we know na hindi magiging successful tong webinar na to if not for you guys, no, listening. So I hope you will learn something from this afternoon's topic. Now, Our topic today will have two parts. Firstly, I would like to introduce you to the sport of futsal. No? It's probably 10 to 15 minutes of this. To those who do not know futsal yet, this will be a good introduction. And then the second part of our talk today will be how to handle a sports program in the new normal. No, so alam ko every one of us is really struggling right now. No, we especially if we're coaches. No, we don't know what to do with our spare time. We don't know how to handle our athletes. No, I myself am a head coach right now, so it's really difficult. It's really tough. No, to really what program are we gonna give them when we don't see them personally and we cannot really correct their movements. So hopefully, again, this topic can help us. So going now to the main topic. All right. Now, futsal is the official small-sided football na na-recognize ng FIFA. FIFA is the governing body of world governing body of football. Now, it came from the word, it came from a Spanish-Portuguese language, no? Football de sala. So basically, it's an abbreviation of two words: football, which is we know is the global sport, the most popular sport in the world, and sala, which also means we're all familiar with sala. It's a Spanish word, but we use it as a Tagalog language, indoor. No, so literally it means indoor football. Now, futsal right now is an emerging global game. So far in Europe and in the world, football is still the king, and futsal is the little brother, no, or even a cousin at that, no. So it's not as popular as football, but it is right now, I think, fourth most popular sport in Europe, no, after handball, basketball, volleyball, and then futsal. Now, konting historical background, it originated in the YMCA gym in Uruguay by Juan Pablo. It was invented by Juan Pablo Seriani. No, this was done because sometimes in Uruguay they have really harsh winter. So just like in basketball was invented to really train American football athletes. This one, futsal, was also invented so that they can train football players. When I say football, I mean if you're more familiar with it, soccer, no, in Uruguay, so that they can still train during winter times. Now it's very popular right now in Africa, both in Africa and Asia, as well as Europe. Now, futsal was known to be the first sport of those superstars, no? Superstars like Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Robinho, Messi, and Kaká. They all started playing futsal before they shifted to football as we know it. No? Now, let's go. I'll give you a 4-minute clip just to see what is futsal and how it's played. I know we are in a limited time. We're working on a limited time. I might cut it in sa half, but I just would like to introduce you the game of futsal if you're not yet familiar with it. Oops, wait. Supposed to play. Yeah. Let's look at it lang. This is how football is played in this is a big Spanish championship game. So as you can see, the sport is it's more dynamic than football. It's fast paced. Well, football is also a fast paced sport, but this has more shot attempts. No, as you can see, it's smaller court, so there are more chances of scoring. There are more chances of shooting the ball. Yeah, that's how futsal is played. Yeah, siguro a few more plays, then we'll go to the next slide para we save time. So good. Okay. So, as you can see, no, futsal is really dynamic. No, it's very fast paced. No, it's very exciting. It's actually for Filipinos, it might be we might find it more exciting than football kasi sanay tayo sa basketball na every possession there's an attempt, no? So there's a chance of high scoring ball game which we're used to. Now, as a very brief introduction, we'll explain the difference between futsal and what futsal as a sport is. No? Now, it is played, of course, on a smaller and hard court pitch, no, as compared to football. Now, it has two penalty spots. If you can see my cursor, the second penalty and the first penalty. Okay, parang basketball, then there's a penalty after 6 fouls. It's a equivalent free throw. There's a free kick on this spot, no. But if the foul is committed inside the penalty area, just like in football, it's a penalty. A penalty is given in the near penalty area. Now, the futsal court is a little bit bigger than the basketball court. This is the comparative size, no, of futsal and the basketball court. No, so internationally, futsal is played in a 20 by 40 meter, as opposed to basketball, which is 25 by 18. Now, the game is 5-a-side, all right, and lasts for 40 minutes. Now, 20 minutes each half, and unlike football, more like basketball, stop time yan. Every time the ball goes out, stop time, as in basketball. The futsal ball is smaller but doesn't bounce as much kasi nga hard surface. We've discussed that before. Okay, now, the difference in football, futsal has 1 timeout per half for each team. No, football, as we know, doesn't have any timeout. Futsal has 1 timeout each. Oops. Wait. Ayan. Okay. To begin, each player it's a 5-a-side game, no, including the goalkeeper. So 4 field players and 1 goalkeeper. Now, like in basketball, 12 players in a team. No? And unlike in football, you're only allowed 3 substitutes per game. So futsal, again, similarity just to basketball is that unlimited yung substitution. The difference between substitution in basketball and futsal, so basketball, you have to call the attention of the official. It has to be stop ball. So futsal, even while the game is ongoing, you can change players without even telling the referee that you're going to substitute. No? So it's more dynamic. It's continuous. It's called the flying substitution. Okay? As I said earlier, may accumulated fouls, just like in football. No? So on the 6th foul, 5th foul, penalty ka. On the 6th foul, you shoot a second penalty. All right? Just like in football, meron ding yellow and red card. Now, the fouls in futsal are exactly the same. Pag foul sa football, foul din sa futsal yan. Pag hindi foul sa football, hindi rin foul sa football. Sa futsal, it's exactly the same. The fouls and misconducts are exactly the same if you're familiar with football. No? The main difference, the goalkeeper is only allowed to touch the ball for 4 seconds. Either handling it or kahit nagdidribble siya. Hindi siya allowed to hold the ball for more than 4 seconds unless he crosses the half line. Okay? Yeah. And then, meron tinatawag na back pass rule. You cannot pass the ball back to the goalkeeper if the ball was passed to you by the goalkeeper unless mahawakan ng opponent or ma-deflect. Okay? So we've discussed that. Now, instead of a normal throw-in, no, as I showed kanina do sa clip, no, kick in. No, you don't throw the ball inside, you kick the ball inside. So in every match, there are 2 referees and then a timekeeper as well. No? So same thing. Sa international referee, may timekeeper, may third referee. Okay. Now, futsal is played on a hard court. No? Either wood or yung mga ginagamit na parang specialized rubber flooring na ginagamit sa 3-on-3 basketball is also used as a floor for futsal. Basta hindi dapat grass. No? So that's why futsal is very easy to play in the Filipino setting na kahit mas malaki siya sa basketball court, we can still play it on a basketball court. No? Now, kasi we don't need a lot of structure, we don't need a lot of facility, we can use existing facilities using basketball courts. Now, what is the value of futsal? Now, since futsal is a smaller field, in fact, to be exact, you can fit 7 futsal court in 1 football pitch, no? In 1 soccer pitch. So, ibig sabihin nun, since 5-on-5 playing, ang equivalent of futsal is you're playing soccer 35 versus 35. No? So, ganun katindi madidevelop ang skill ng ng players playing futsal because it has limited space, the floor is fast, the surface is fast, the skill required is a little bit more than football, so that people who grew up playing futsal has an advantage playing football. No, so again, Ronaldo of Juventus, Messi of Barcelona grew up playing, no, futsal. Okay, as I said, more touches. No, if you want to develop, if you're a football coach right now and you want to develop good football players, start them off with futsal. Sa Pilipinas lang baligtad eh. Ang futsal nilalaro ng mga nagre-retire na football players. But it should be on the other way around. Now, kids, before they're exposed to football pitch, they should be taught how to play futsal first because they will have a good sense of skill. Their skill level will be higher, and then they'll have a good more sense of where the other players are, and their court vision will be better. No? Now, again, it will develop their one-on-one play, and then simply smaller. Since the field is smaller, as I showed you earlier, there will be more shots, and then mas matututong mag-attempt and be more accurate yung mga players nyo in shooting the ball to the goal. Okay, since it's small, the decision making of a player will be more developed, and they will have faster decision making. No, so pag pinaglaro mo 5-on-5, pinaglaro mo yan ng 11-on-11 in a very big football pitch, they have more time to think, they have more good decision-making ability, and then they can create better passes, better chances in a football pitch. No? Players will be taught how to attack and defend. No? Unlike in football, specialized. Pag yung mga defenders, they just defend, yung mga attackers, they just attack. Here, like you develop a well-rounded player. Okay. Again, those who play futsal can understand a lot of position better. No? As we said before, rolling sub or flying substitution can create more opportunities pagka medyo mas advanced na yung skill level ng mga bata. Now, how do we know futsal works? No? How do we know futsal works? Kasi makita mo, I was able to find the futsal cards of these young players. No, this boy grew up to be Robinho. Okay, yeah, this boy grew up to be Ronaldinho. And this is one of my favorite players, Brazilian player, si Kaká. Now, what I would like to imply here sa mga coaches, no, futsal and football should not compete with each other. In fact, you can use futsal as a developmental tool, no, in order to improve football players. Para pagdating niya sa football, they're more well-rounded. They're more skillful. They're more they're better at decision making. Yung decision making process nila will be better. It works hand in hand. It helps each other. It helps each other. It should not compete with each other. Now that's the reason why futsal is not yet popular in the Philippines, is because football officials thought that it might kill football, which is not really that popular to start with. Baka pagka sumikat kasi yung futsal, mas mawala ng players ng football. But it should not be the case. It should work hand in hand. Now, of course, Marta, four-time FIFA World Player of the Year na sa women. Now, as I said, no, most of us here, coaches who are listening, may not be a futsal coach, or if you're interested, pagka bumalik tayo sa face-to-face, I will give the detail to Coach JR and sila Coach Josh, no? Kasi the University of Asia and the Pacific will be conducting a futsal seminar for beginning futsal seminar for teachers. So we will be opening up our campus. So we will be inviting people to attend that as well. So we go to the second part. Sorry, medyo natagal tayo doon. How to handle a sports program. If you're a coach, no, in this new normal. When we were in before the pandemic strike, no, as coaches, we know how to identify our sport. Now there are major classification of sport. If you don't know it yet, the sprint sport, intermittent sprint sport, transition sport, and endurance sport. Now, futsal, just like basketball, falls under transition sport. When I say transition sport, you transition from offense to defense and vice versa. No? So futsal is a transition sport. So when you train athletes that way, malalaman nyo, since transition sport tayo, kano kalaki yung court, malalaman nyo, yun ang magiging basis on how you're going to create a sports program and how you're going to develop the athleticism and athletic capability of your athletes. No? Now, during quarantine, no, everybody had a problem. Sports stop, collegiate sports stop, all the sports of all academic institutions stop, technically stop during quarantine. So what should we do? Do we still have to test athletes while in quarantine? For me, it's not necessary kasi wala tayong game eh. It's useless. No, man, I know of a program, school somewhere na hindi ko sabihin which school, but they insisted on testing athletes during the pandemic para daw malaman kung fit. Why do you need to test athletes? Wala naman kayong competition. Di ba? Wala kayong competition. So, right now, you should put aside testing and go straight to skills training. No? Skills training. Now, when you say skills training, well, in football, futsal, during training, mag-ball handling kayo para lang hindi masyadong kalawangin yung mga players nyo. If you're playing basketball, same. It's more difficult in volleyball. Kasi mahirap, well, self-dig pass, pero hindi siya makaka-interact with other people. But try to develop their skill during the pandemic so as to, when they come back, no, they're not very rusty. Ang problem natin, so if you're teaching DepEd, yung mga bata wala sariling gamit. No, but if you will be prioritizing, do not test your athletes anymore while it's in pandemic. No, do more skills testing and do more general fitness. Kasi fitness is easy to do. It's harder to do strength and conditioning, but you can actually give them once in a while a strength and conditioning training, no? I don't know how many of you still does Zoom training with your teams, but you have to limit it into fitness and skills training. Yung strength and conditioning, kailangan pa rin, but as I said, you do not give them very, very hard strength and conditioning kasi wala pa naman laro eh. Just make sure they're fit. No? So, as a gauge, no, everybody knows the Carbonian method. No? Yun yung gauge nyo ng yung heart rate. Basically, the heart rate will be the gauge of if you're giving them a moderate, easy to moderate activity or moderate to vigorous activity. No? So, i-vary nyo. Wala akong masyadong time to explain this. Maybe JR will organize another time for us to elaborate on this training, to go deep into details into this training techniques or methods, you know, during pandemic. No? Now, what else? Moving forward, not only during the pandemic, but also pagka bumalik na tayo sa face-to-face. Hopefully within the next 2 years. No? Sports will be back again. No? Moving forward, sports coaches, if there are DepEd teachers listening here, alam ko kayo, you're also the sports coaches in your schools. No? DepEd teachers are also sports coaches. No? So what should we learn? What should we do? And what should we observe? Number 1, okay, things to observe or even avoid in training. Okay, the first thing to do is avoid training too early. Some of you might insist of training their athletes at 6 o'clock, high school athletes or college athletes, but no, athletes who are 13 to 21 are still growing and they need their sleep. No, as much as possible, do not, well, again, it's time constrained, but as much as possible, do not train the athletes before 9 a.m. If pwede. Okay, but then again, minsan, like in our school, nag-aagawan ng court, no? But the ideal time is not to train them too early. Why? Because of the circadian rhythm. If you can see the screen, when the body starts at midnight, when you look at 9 a.m., that's the highest testosterone secretion both for male and female. Okay? So dapat dyan pala nag-start gumalaw yung mga athletes. Anything earlier than that, no? Hindi pa ready ang body kasi melatonin secretion, melatonin is the one that helps to sleep. Diyan pala nag-stop after 7:30. Now, alam ko some coaches want to train early para hindi gumimik yung mga bata. No? But as you can see, basing on the circadian rhythm, no? 9 o'clock. So, if you're gonna do this, makita nyo papalo, mas maganda i-train ang mga bata after class, which is at either 2:30 if you're playing indoors, 3:30 in the afternoon, or 5 o'clock. Or effectively, I'm suggesting if you can train your kids after school, train them after school rather than before school. Before school starts. Okay? Based on the circadian rhythm. Right? Number 2. Okay? Exercise selection. Especially now, ngayong pandemic, exercise selection, do not give them too many exercise. Okay? Pag bumalik na rin kayo sa face-to-face, do not give them too many exercise in one session. Huwag niyo pagsamahin yung in 1.5 hours, pagsasabayan nyo, halimbawa mag-weights kayo, do not give them 10, 12 exercises. Now, focus on small exercises and then let them practice it, do several sets. Now, same thing with Zoom training. If you're giving them skills, focus on few skills, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills, then constantly practice it, repeatedly practice it in order for your students to achieve mastery. Rather than chop suey sila, wala naman silang na-master. Okay? Okay. As I said, sets are too low. This supports exercise selection. No? Give repetitive movement to athletes. No? Ngayon, especially skills that requires technical coordination. If your athletes are, kung nagtuturo kayo ng ng weight training sa kanila, no? Pagka nag-introduce kayo ng bagong exercise, make sure they don't do it one set. Make sure accumulation, 3 sets is not enough, 4, 5, or 6 sets is good. Ganun din, pag nagtuturo kayo ng certain skill, di ba, hindi pwedeng, okay, we're gonna teach crossover dribble. Hindi pwedeng, okay, 2 times lang magko-crossover, tapos na. Di ba? You give them variety, you make them repeat it several times para matuto. Okay, same thing. No, repetition is important for especially for DepEd students. Okay, and sa mga college coaches, yung mga rookies nyo, make sure they master their skill, which will be helpful for your program when they reach their senior or veteran years. No, exercise sequencing. After you warm up, whether you're doing Zoom training or bumalik tayo sa face-to-face, after you warm up, give them the hardest exercise at the start while they're fresh and they're not tired. That's why I've worked with athletes from high school all the way to the pros. I really sometimes just shut my mouth, no? In Tagalog, alam yung napapailing ka sa Tagalog, yung why are you doing that? You know, you're sometimes you don't know. You just are dumbfounded when during at the end of training, yung mga bata pinapag-sprint. Hindi ko makuha yung logic nun. Tapos na yung training, tapos na yung scrimmage, tapos lahat, then tsaka sila pag-sprintin. That is very dangerous for kids. No? And then, meron pa ako nakita isang volleyball team, hindi ko na sasabihin which school, but at the end of their game, tsaka sila nagplayo. No? Again, everything that require central nervous system challenge or coordination between your mind and your body should be done at the start. The most challenging exercises should be done at the start, not at the end. Okay? Pwede nyo pag-scrimmage yan at the end. Then, have them cool down and stretch. Do not give them sprint work, plyometric work, and hard work at the end. Pag nag-weight sa'yo, ganun din. Power workout should be at the start, not at the end. Okay? Now, another thing, lack of technical model. Number 1, do not teach students things that you don't know how to do. That's why yung mga naka-attend ng Tools of the Trade namin sa UMP, we want participants to participate in the workshop because we want you to experience how it's done so that you can have this critical eye to know that mali yung ginagawa ng mga bata or tama yung ginagawa ng mga bata. Kasi you've experienced, you know how to do it. No? And kung hindi mo na kayang gawin yan because of old age or namagana yung tiyan natin sa sobra kain na tinong mga PE teachers, no? By the way, di ba? Sana wag mangyari yun yung traditional. Sino PE teachers nyo? Ituturo yung pinakamataba at pinaka-unfit na teacher. Yun yung PE teacher. No? Sana hindi, kay mga bata kayo, do not make that happen to your school, to your campus. No? Keep yourself fit. Lead by example. All right? So, technical model. If you don't know how to do it and you don't know, nakita nyo lang sa YouTube, do not teach it. Unless you know how to do it or unless one of your players or assistant coaches can do it properly, make them be the model of that lift para lahat ng papagawa nyo sa kanya, hindi lang sa lift, pati yung mga skills. No, sometimes ang problema sa mga DepEd teachers, wala namang skill, napilitan mag-coach ng parang volleyball. Just like me, pag tuturuin nyo ako ng music, ang do ko tsaka do re mi ko, pare-pareho lang sa akin yun. I don't know the difference. If I teach kids how to sing, puro sintonado yung labas niyan. Same thing, yung mga music teacher na pipilitan mag-coach ng football, ng baseball. No? So, bad throwing mechanics, bad catching mechanics, bad kicking mechanics, di ba? So, same thing. If you lack the technical model, do not teach that to your kids. Stick to what we learn. Stick to what we know. Okay? So, next, eto medyo malalim to, is a seminar on its own. No, kayang-kaya ituro ni Coach Gierto at ni Coach Joshua Villarreal. Lack of periodization model. So, as coaches, you have to learn, simple lang to, you have to learn where the competition is, how long the competition is, and then you backtrack. on how you're gonna plan out your training program. So, well, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope we learned something. We learned something. I'll just stop sharing first.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope you learned something from a very, very brief talk that I had. So I'll give it back to Coach JR if they have
Wow.
questions.
Of course, no, napaka-iksi ng presentation, but it's a point of reflection eh. It's a point of realization yung mga, lalo na itong mga last few slides ni Coach Christian eh, no? How about you, Sir John? Any insights or, reflection with the sharing made by Coach Christian?
Ayan, of course. So naalala ko lang yung sinabi ni Coach about dun sa lack of technical model. So kasi parang I myself, parang before paggawa ko sa estudyante yung certain exercise, parang I see to it na pinapakita ko sa kanila kung paano siya, how to be done na yung tama. And of course, sabi nga yung hindi naman lahat ng napapanood natin sa YouTube sa mga it's the exact thing to do, di ba? So parang dapat you have to study kung tama nga ba yung ginagawa. Meron siyang support, di ba? So from the experts, ayan. So like kay Sir Christian, so natutunan namin yun yung umattend ako ng tools of the trade. So we really do it yung mga certain exercise, kino-correct niya kung paano yung form. Kaya naman, para ito yung madi-deliver natin din sa mga students natin, which is a good thing.
Yes. And syempre, no, yung isa sa mga sinabi ni Coach Christian, yung napilitan mag-coach si teacher. Napaka-common yan. Feeling ko yung mga nasa YouTube or ilan sa kasama natin sa Zoom is medyo napapahawi sa kamay nila. Napilitan kasi utos ng head na, ikaw walang coach ang baseball. Ang ano mo, subject mo, specialization mo, music. Nako, syempre, no, nakaka-pressure yun. Of course, eto, gusto kong tanongin to kasi I know the thesis of this man kung ano yung naging topic niya sa thesis niya for master's degree. Coach Joshua, how about you? Any insights about the sharing of Coach Christian?
Well, yung sharing, yung shinare ni Coach Chris, actually, yan. Diyan as a PE teacher, yan yung kinalakihan ko, no. Yan ako, yan yung naging standard ko, no. So by the way, si Coach Chris naging colleague ko sa UANP before, no. So basically tama yon, no. The gist of the sharing of Coach Chris is basically when you teach something, you really need to know how to teach it properly, no. It's not you will not stop with the skills, but the science behind, no. I mean, dapat if someone digs deeper on how you on your program or how you conduct training or when you teach as a PE teacher, dapat alam mo, dahil PE teacher ka, kaya nga parang ako, for example, when I talk when I ask my students, no, what's PE, no? Ang usual sagot nila diyan mga jumping jacks, sports, dance, no. Basically, no, we have to understand that PE is physical education, literal, no. You study how body works, no. So as a PE teacher, you need to really know how to how body works, and how you can develop it, no. Because you're the expert, no. Tayo yon, mga PE teachers, no. So basically, yun yung gist na nakita ko sa sharing ni Coach Chris.
Yeah. And syempre, 'di ba, Coach Joshua, nung na-share mo nga rin sa akin one time, may re-relate ko sa na-share sa atin ni Sir Christian. Syempre, we are the perfect role model for our students. Kung ano yung nakikita nila na ginagawa ni PE teacher, kung ano yung nakikita nila, sinasabi ni teacher, of course, you're promoting physical fitness, healthy living. So of course, alam naman natin may psychological effect yung the way na sa atin, mga teacher, kung paano tayo pangalagaan natin sarili natin at of course, yung fitness level din natin na maintain. Kaya I think wake up call din, no? This is a good sharing na wake up call na tayo mga PE teachers ngayong pandemic, maraming time nakaupo tayo, pero meron ba tayong mga time pa din na nilalaan para sa sarili natin? Kasi tulad yan na nabanggit, mahirap ituro ang bagay na wala naman sa iyo. Lalo na tayo ay performance based na subject. Wow, no? Ito po, no? Binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon yung ating mga wow, grabe. Isa to sa mga highest ano na naman natin 180
Okay.
plus, no? 180 plus. Usually nasa 100 to 150 lang tayo. Mukhang talagang maraming fans si Sir Christian, si Coach Christian.
Charisma ng Coach Christian.
Iba yung charisma. So, ayan no, para sa mga nasa YouTube live, pwede po tayong magtanong. Pili po kami ng mga ilang katanungan. Alam ko na itong topic na to napakaikli pero may kurot eh. May kurot na wake up call kumbaga no sa atin kung ano ba yung mga dapat nating itama. Kasi nga napapansin natin and I don't know if you will agree with me. Siguro sometimes nagiging problem natin why we can, produce yung mga world class talaga na marami or Olympian because syempre ang grassroots ay nagmumula naman sa PE. 'Di ba? Usually ang interest ng bata sa pag-join ng sports ay na-discover niya sa PE class dahil there's a great experience. Sometimes nangyayari yan. So I think kung sa PE class pa lang ay nagkakaroon na talaga ang mga teachers ng enough understanding from the proper warm-up up to how they conduct their cool-down, saan ba dapat ilagay itong exercise program if you would like to include fitness-based activities. Malaki ang matutulong niya para yung motor development ng bata ay mas maging polished so that kung sakali mag-join ng varsity program, yung progression talaga ay mas nagiging meaningful at mas nagiging maganda yung improvement ng bata. So tayo po mga PE teachers, meron tayong mahalagang role sa development ng motor skills ng bata dahil yan ang mandate natin. Okay? Silip tayo dito, ilan sa mga tanong dito eh.
Ito, we have a question, Coach Ray. Actually,
Sige, Coach Josh, can you select one? Si Miss Micaela May Ranyola, may tanong siya eh.
Sige, go. Go ka, Coach. Ikaw na lang yung
Alright, sabi
Sige,
niya, Sir, is there a big impact or difference kapag nag-start too early in the morning or in the afternoon kaysa sa late morning and late afternoon? Again, ulitin ko lang is there a big impact or difference kapag nag-start too early in the morning, early in the afternoon kaysa late morning or late afternoon? So parang kung magsimula daw ng early morning siguro, anong impact nito sa bata? Yun yata yung na-discuss ni Coach Christian kanina. Coach Christian?
Okay, nakamute ako eh. So ganito lang yun. No? As I showed you earlier, yung the circadian rhythm of person, no? Especially growing kids. Growing kids need their sleep. Alam ko, nung time natin, pagka na-oversleep, well, ako, at least, you're younger, in my generation, yung mga Gen X, pagka na-oversleep kami, ginigising na kami ng palo eh. No? Kasi sign na yun ng katamaran. But studies upon studies have shown that kids who are growing up need their sleep. And it's the sleep that actually make them grow bigger. It's the sleep that actually make them recover. No? So anong impact? Mas magiging susceptible sa injury sa mga bata if you train them at 5:30 in the morning and 6. Kasi nga, because of the circadian rhythm, as I showed you earlier, no, since naka-record naman yata itong video,
yes.
si Coach JR can really share that the slide that I shared na may circadian rhythm. Now, ang impact naman niya, well, yun din yung beef ko, hindi naman beef, but yun yung I've experienced it myself when I was in college. No, yung another thing, yung early afternoon is the environment, especially if you're playing outdoors, and then you will train people and play people. Di ba? Minsan yung palaro pambansa, nag-schedule ng track and field at 11 in the morning. No, so I don't know if these administrators have played the sport themselves or have been athletes before.
Yes.
And then in the DepEd, we should know that it's the dangers of too much heat exposure to kids. So for me, dapat mag-start tayo sa regional hanggang palaro, football, track and field, and all outdoor sports that exposes kids to sunlight or to the environment should not be played from 10 to 3 in the morning, 10 to 2 in the afternoon, or at least the earliest 3 o'clock na. But again, since we lack the venue and everything, hindi pwede. So, but that's just my first take, no? So again, to recap my answer, number 1, mas may susceptibility sa injury mga bata kasi their bodies still need to rest pag too early. I'm not saying they will get injured. They are more susceptible to injuries. As backed by the circadian rhythm, may mga studies yan but we don't have time to show the studies. And then in the afternoon, early afternoon, is the environmental factor. No? Nandun yung heat stroke,
Mhm.
heat cramps, and other physiological things that might happen to kids. Plus, you will not get their optimum performance.
Mm.
Kasi mainit It's hard.
Yeah, parang ano 'yan no. Ito yung 'di ba there are some instances na mga coaches 'di ba palarong pambansa syempre alam natin palarong pambansa ini-schedule summertime. Talagang April no. Talagang napakainit kaya meron tayong mga nababalitaan before sa news na talagang mga nahimatay na bata or what no. Over ano na talaga nakabilad talaga yung mga bata sa araw. Meron mga ilang ano dito tanong Coach Christian no when it comes to stretching ito yung kanilang mga tinatanong kasi syempre yung iba mga coaches limited yung time nila. Nako, 1 oras lang yung naibigay sa atin sa court na to. Nako, kailangan na natin sige, ito na kagad ini-skip nila yung stretching, yung warm up or yung coach hindi kasi siya talaga former athlete or hindi nag-training. So sige, mag-stretching ka na lang diyan no. Kahit static stretching. Tapos sige, game na tayo, drill na kagad tayo. What's your take on this?
Okay. So, iba yung take ko sa PE class, iba yung take ko sa varsity class, no? Sa varsity kasi, pag limited yung time mo, well, it could go to PE. Do not do static stretching anymore at the start of your activity. Sabayin nyo na. Make it dynamic warm-up.
Mhm.
You know, you're moving, dynamic and movement. Why? Kasi you're preparing the body to move anyway. No? But then again, if you're an athlete, yun lang kasarapan sa pro sport Sa pro sport, training kami ng, di ba may game. We will meet each other 3 hours before the game. So, pwede mo silang pag-foam roll, pwede mo silang pag-stretch before you give them dynamic warm-up. No? But if your time is limited, maximize the training. Yung game time plus the skills, stretching, do dynamic warm-up at the start. Kasi dynamic warm-up is both warm-up and stretching at the combined, no? And then do static stretching after your court hours. Kung pwede lang sa gilid-gilid na lang yung mga athletes mo, hindi na sa court, doon na sila mag-static stretch.
Mhm.
That will save you time. Instead na static stretching, tapos sa start, tapos mag-warm up kayo, the static stretching ulit. Make it dynamic warm-up at the start, and then static stretching at the end.
Yan. All right. Ayan na po. Binigay na po sa atin ni Coach Christian no on how are you gonna be planning, especially when conducting training. And of course, Sir Christian, I would like to read some words of affirmation there. Sabi ni Miss Louie Evasco, no? Sir, thank you for changing my understanding about futsal. I thought futsal is only for females, no? So, ayan syempre nabanggit nga head coach ng men's futsal team si coach, no? And again, napakaraming words of affirmation dito na binibigay sa coach kasi napaka-brief nung kanyang topic pero may kurot common term parang may kurot no kasi mismo tayo yung involved sa mga gantong practices na no parang mali pala yung ginagawa ko which is pwede nating ma-injure yung mga bata or let's say itong mali yung practice natin cannot really fully develop the child or the students kung ano man yung gusto nating ma-achieve na of course performance ng bata. I think sa mga marami kasing marami din mga nag-i-inquire no. I think this is just a level 1 because of course Coach Christian's very generous no. Sabi niya nga after the pandemic UANP is very much willing to accommodate trainings to help PE teachers, MAPE teachers no para madagdagan yung ating kaalaman. Kaya yung mga nagtatanong po for example for the program, for the officiating, I think this is another topic, a much more technical matter na pwede nating iset kasi nga yun po tinitingnan natin yung mga evaluation nyo, ilagay nyo po siya sa evaluation para at least ma-line up po natin sa mga darating panabuan. Ako I'm good no. I learned something talaga na I think a wake up call din for me no as a PE teacher, as a coach no. But Coach Josh or Coach John, do you have anything pa to add before we end our episode for this afternoon?
Ayun.
Sige, ako.
So, Wala naman. So gusto lang natin ulit pasalamatan si Coach Christian. And shoutout na rin natin yung mga kanina alam mo naman lagi tayo naglilista yung mga lugar, 'di ba? So ang layo na ng nararating talaga natin. So shoutout sa mga Tagalipa, Dalasal, Subel, from Pulangi Community College, Bicol University, Pangasinan, Isabela State U, Holy Angel, meron pa tayong from Indonesia, from Davao Oriental, Albay, Isabela, Sorsogon, Kamsur, and Antique. So yun yung mga nakita natin mga some of the places kung saan nakakaabot ang ating webinar series. Diba?
Yan.
Yan.
Coach
Ako
Josh?
naman, Coach JR. Siguro, question na rin to kay Coach Chris, no? Feeling ko it's very important, no? Kasi right now, as a PE, si Coach Chris kasi he's a PE teacher and a coach,
Mhm.
no? So, of course, again, the program naman, the One Face Ed is a channel, no, for us PE teachers to get something or to learn something, no. Coach Chris, siguro it's also okay, no, to share to our viewers, no, how important is that certification courses, no? Ano yung natutulong ng mga certification courses based from your experience as a PE teacher and a coach? Kasi as we all know, here in the Philippines, in terms of sports and PE, yung mga courses and yung education is very limited. We only have a master's degree. Then after that, di ko alam. I know PNU will offer PhD in the future, but it's very limited for everyone. No. So, Coach Chris, what can you suggest to our PE to our viewers on certifications or other courses that they might that they can get so that it will help them as a PE teachers and as a coach then if there are a PE, if there are PE and a coach as well as
Okay. Thank you for that question. There are two things, no, for sa coaches, no, the NSAs are the ones basically handling the certifications. Like I'm a licensed and I'm an Asian Confederation coach as well, AFC. I'm a licensed AFC coach level B. So to help with football or futsal, the Philippine Football Federation is in charge of football in the country. So through them, sila yung authorized magbigay ng licensing. Whether sa officiating, kung gusto yung mag-referee, or sa coaching. No? But I understand doing palaro, di ba, parang may sports seminar ang mga officials saka coaches. So I conducted one as well before, no. So yun yung sa football. I'm sure sa ang samahang basketball ng Pilipinas nag-hold ng mga certification ng coaching, no. So it's usually NSA based, National Sports Association based ang mga coaching and certification licenses. It's more licensing sa coaching, sa sports, no. Now, when it comes to certification, it's always good to certify on your passion. Like sa dance, I'm sure ang Gymnastics Association of the Philippines nagbibigay din ng licensing sa mga coaches yan, di ba, or certification or seminars at that, no. I got mine personally. I took a different approach kasi when I was younger, no, it's really hard to get certifications here in the Philippines, no. Dati noon, parang Philippine Fitness or something, may organization na ganon. So I was fortunate enough to get licensing from the US, no. So that's where I certified kasi I'm into strength and conditioning. Yun yung passion ko, to train athletes. So I got that as well. My coaching license is from Philippine Football Federation, from Asian Football Confederation naman yung sa akin sa yung Asian license ko. But dito ko kinuha both my football and futsal license, no. So it's the same thing, no. That's why we're trying sa UANP, no, to share what we can to actually, ako personally, yung to really echo. No, sometimes kasi we lack resources, special development teachers, So we echo what we've learned from outside, and we really filter it to see what's better, what will suit the educational environment in the Philippines. Now, to give you an idea on how it helped the certification, shout out sa mga college teachers dito, if there are college teachers here. Alam niyo naman ng DepEd, ang CHED, yung bagong program ng PE in college, di ba? Merong fitness training 1, fitness training 2, club sports 1, club sports 2. Ganun na yung PE ngayon sa CHED no? To give you, I think Josh was still in UANP when I remember I started, kasi di ba sabi sa'yo, medyo nabobore na ako sa traditional PE classes. So I started tinkering and did fitness training. Remember, Josh, di ba? We did some fitness training classes. And then I started to group in everything, exercises that I know from strength and conditioning. Pinapasa ko yung mga lower level so that kids can be fit on their own. No? Yun yung design ng fitness training. And good enough, no, since our chairman is one of the technical advisor of the CHED adopted the PE curriculum of UANP. So basically, yung ginagawa ko, pinaglalaroan lang namin na PE syllabus, yun yung ina-adapt nationwide. That's why I go around them before the pandemic to different provinces to teach fitness training 1 and fitness training 2. So yun yung importance nung certification. You learn something from outside, then you integrate it into your knowledge. No? Plus, sa DepEd teachers, bonus yan pag may certificate ka, di ba? I think rank or something. Yeah. So, by the way, last one. So, hopefully, well, if Coach JR will allow it, no, we can have a repeat seminar regarding the principles of training, no. Yun, hindi lang kurot ang abutin natin, may kasamang sa bunot at suntok na yun. No? So, if ever I'll be allowed to do again, isa sana naman in terms of dwelling into principles of sports training.
Coach Christian, go Coach Josh. Coach
I
Josh.
think Coach Chris, that's very interesting, no? Kasi yung principles of training kasi it will cover talaga how you design the program, periodization, inset, onset mo. I mean, everything is there. No? It's very interesting, no? Lalo na sa mga lalo sa mga PE teachers natin na to learn, no? Para hindi tayo namuhula na parang pakiramdam ko tayo to ngayon. Or dapat
maisip no?
To ngayon. Ano kami ngayon? Cool. Ano nga kami ngayon? Recovery training kami kahit wala pa namang competition. Parang gano'n, no? So, cross-training kami kasi bakasyon. Gano'n, no? So, I mean, everything will be, let's say, objective this time, no? And how you train athletes, no? And not just athletes, and maybe we can apply it in PE as well, no? So, yun. So, okay yan, Coach.
Yeah,
okay na, okay.
That's a big thumbs up, Coach, kasi I think that's a good preparation as we begin another academic year. So that whatever modules, whatever lesson plans that the teachers will be preparing, there is already enough understanding on how they're gonna be composing, especially in terms of physical activities, no? Kaya I think, Coach Christian, mga ilang araw lang po, ilang linggo, may message po namin kayo ulit. Siguro bago magsimula talaga ang academic year. Kasi napakaano ng topic na yon. Actually, hindi natin basta-basta makuha yung ganyang mga training sa inset. So this is a perfect opportunity coming from an expert, of course, Coach Christian. And before we end, no, maraming salamat sa 195 individuals na nakatune in sa ating YouTube, and together also, shout out ko na, shout out of course Sir Mark Anthony Dalipe, Sir Paul Lora, Sir Glenn Opog, Miss Livate Zoleta, Miss Leomis, and Sir Robert Victorio, ating mga kasama dito sa 150.ph na nandito po sa ating Zoom. Ayan, and at this point, Coach Joshua, can you please present the certificate?
Yan.
And may I request Coach, ako na ang babasa. The certificate of appreciation, I think meron lang, Coach, yung korfball to.
Sorry.
Yung last week.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Okay, and of course, no, alam naman natin itong ganitong klaseng usapan will really be something na pwede talaga nating may apply sa ating mga pagtuturo, mga kapwa PE teacher. And again,
pahabol lang, sorry. well, lumalaki na ang YouTube following nyo kasi talagang celebrity na si Coach JR, no? Na-shoutout lang kasi sa mga DepEd teachers, no? Kasi even though we graduated and we took up physical education, major in physical education, or diba, education with PS major, or even our masters, I myself have done it. I finished my masters. But yung sometimes is if you're into coaching and into the nitty-gritty of the techniques, hindi naman tinuturo sa PE yan sa masters and sa those are technical stuff that you really need to learn. If you're into it, you really need to certify outside the educational system. That's why the NSAs are good, ano. Kung wala kang kilala sa NSA, pasabi nyo to your department head or to your principal, no, sila yung may mga contacts sa mga iba-ibang NSA, regional NSAs. That will help us develop our programs, help us develop the content of our PE programs as well. No, kahit na mandated ng CHED yan, pinaturo tayo bigla ng Arnis, ang taekwondo tayo, so hindi naman natin pwedeng pasipa yung stick, di ba? So we have to be more flexible, and we should, sa mga young teachers, you should not stop learning, no? Yung sabi ko, when I took my bachelor's, I thought I was really smart. I mean, I thought ang galing-galing ko. Then I met people na I told myself, wala pala akong alam. Now that's why from there on, I started just learning, continuous learning, kasi there's too much knowledge to absorb and filter. So,
yan.
yun lang. Word of
Napakaganda
advice.
nung huling advice ni Sir Christian. Parang china-challenge tayo na never stop learning dahil lahat na nga available na talaga. Ang kailangan na lang po natin ay talaga mag-devote ng time to continuously improve ourselves. Dahil tayo po ay teacher, ang ating tinuturo dapat ay tama sa ating mga estudyante. At this point, Coach Joshua,
Yun.
okay, Coach John, can you please award the certificate to our speaker?
The certificate of appreciation is awarded to Mr. Christian Dominguez for generously sharing his expertise as a resource speaker during the 1PZ.ph Sports Webinar series titled Innovations and Practical in Handling Futsal Program in this New Normal. So via 1PZ YouTube channel and Zoom, awarded this 20th March, signed by our coach, founder 1PZ.ph, Coach JR Viterbo. So congratulations and thank you very much, Sir Christian, Mr. Christian Dominguez or Coach Christian.
Alright, virtual clap naman po tayo dyan sa ating speaker panauhin sa afternoon na ito. At muli mo, bago tayo mag-iwahiwalay, nais namin magpasalamat sa inyong lahat na patuloy na sumusuporta dahil itong ating ginagawa dito sa 1PZ.ph, ang aming motivation ay no other than kayo. Kayo na patuloy na sumasama sa amin every Saturday because you wanna make difference dyan sa ating ginagawa every time that we prepare lessons, execute lessons, evaluate our students. Kaya po maraming salamat. Marami pa pong nakahandang programa ang 1PZ.ph and muli, sinasabi namin dito, lagi po nating alalahanin, let's break the limits and go beyond. Stay safe and happy Saturday, everyone. E-certificates link will now be available via YouTube Live. Kindly check it now.